Welcome, the rare gems. Some people enter a room and speak volumes without opening their mouths. That's the kind of presence Sigma females carry. It's not loud in the traditional sense, it's spiritually loud. You feel it in your gut, in the silence, in the way she stands fully in herself without needing to prove anything. She's not chasing attention. Her energy commands it naturally because it's rooted in something deeper: truth, experience, and emotional clarity. A Sigma female doesn't need to make a scene. Her calm rattles the fake. Her stillness pulls you in. Her honesty cuts through surface-level interactions like a blade. And it's not because she's trying to intimidate anyone. She's just done pretending. She's lived through enough to know that authenticity is rare and peace is priceless. If you've ever felt like you're different, like the room gets quieter when you walk in, not because you're loud, but because your energy speaks louder than your words, chances are you're not broken. You're just a Sigma female. This video isn't about labels. It's about understanding why your energy often feels too much for shallow spaces, why people react strangely to your silence, and why you don't feel the need to chase what everyone else is chasing. You're not here to fit in. You're here to remind people who they really are, even if that makes them uncomfortable. And that, right there, is why your energy echoes louder than most voices ever could. Let's get started. Number 1. Because elevation without depth is fragile. Let's be real. The world is full of people chasing elevation, fame, attention, status. But God doesn't work like that when it comes to Sigma women. He doesn't just hand you power because you're talented, smart, or ambitious. That's not enough. You're not being shaped to just be seen. You're being shaped to stand strong when the weight of success tries to crush you. There's a reason your blessings have been delayed. There's a reason your journey has been slower, heavier, more painful than others. It's because God isn't just building your future. He's digging your roots, and deep roots take time. Anyone can shine for a moment, but only the grounded survive the long run. If God elevated you too soon, before your character was tested, before your heart healed, before your spirit matured, that power would break you. You'd crash under the pressure or attract the wrong kind of attention. And that's not what you were made for. You're being called to something bigger, not just to inspire people, but to carry them, to lead without losing yourself, to walk into rooms and shift the energy, not feed off it. So when life feels hard, lonely, or unfair, pause. Remind yourself, this depth is necessary. You're not missing out. You're being prepared for a level that few can handle, because when God finally lifts you, it won't be temporary, it won't be fake, and it definitely won't be shallow. It'll be solid, unshakable, and deeply earned, because you took the time to grow roots, while everyone else rushed to grow wings. And that's why when you rise, you won't fall. Number 2. Because she's meant to heal generational wounds. A Sigma woman wasn't just born, she was sent. And not just for herself, but for every woman who came before her that never had the strength, the voice, or the chance to break free. Her life feels heavier because she's carrying more than just her own story. She's been handed pain that isn't even hers. Emotional baggage passed down like inheritance. Silent mothers, broken fathers, unspoken trauma, repeated patterns. And instead of ignoring it or repeating it, she stops everything and faces it. That's why the tests hit different for her. That's why it feels like life won't let up, because it's not just about her. It's about the entire bloodline that's watching through her. God lets her feel the weight of what others were too scared to carry. Not to break her, but to wake her up. To make her strong enough to rewrite what was once labeled normal. She was chosen to break cycles of silence, codependency, bitterness, and shame, even if she had to bleed in the process. But here's the beautiful part. When she rises, she doesn't just elevate herself. She raises the whole standard. Her kids won't carry what she had to carry. Her little sister won't have to settle. Her future won't look like her past. Because she did the hard thing. She faced what others ignored. She felt what others numbed. She healed what others passed down. That's why God tests her more. That's why her path feels lonely and her healing feels never-ending. Because she's not building a better life, she's building a new legacy. So if you're that woman, take heart. You're not being punished. You're just the one strong enough to end what should have ended generations ago. And that's exactly why you were chosen. Number 3, because she will be targeted, not just seen. When a Sigma woman rises, she doesn't just get noticed. She becomes a target. Not because she's done anything wrong, but because her presence alone disrupts comfort zones. She doesn't play games, she doesn't follow trends, and she doesn't shrink to fit in. And that kind of energy, it makes people uncomfortable. That's why God doesn't elevate her without preparation. Because once she steps into her purpose, she won't just attract opportunities. She'll attract opposition. People will envy her peace. They'll resent her boundaries. They'll smile to her face and scheme behind her back. Some will even try to tear her down just because they couldn't become her. So before she ever stands on the mountain, God takes her through the valleys, betrayal, isolation, misunderstanding, not to punish her, but to toughen her skin and soften her spirit. Because the goal isn't to turn her cold, it's to make her untouchable. She needs to learn how to walk through envy without letting it change her, how to face betrayal without becoming bitter, how to spot fake love without losing her ability to love for real. That's a skill only pressure can teach. The truth is, when you carry a rare light, you will draw both admiration and attack. But a Sigma woman isn't built to crumble. She's built to endure, and not just survive it, but thrive in spite of it. That's why God doesn't just hand her influence. He makes sure her heart is clean, her vision clear, and her peace unshakable. Because when the arrows come, and they will, she won't fold. She won't retaliate. She'll rise higher, speak louder, and move wiser. And the ones who tried to dim her will only end up watching her shine brighter. Number 4. Because she doesn't just want a seat at the table, she'll build her own. A Sigma woman isn't interested in settling for leftovers. She's not here to beg for crumbs or squeeze into spaces where she's barely noticed. God tests her to make sure she understands this deeply. Before he lets her lead, he teaches her how to stand alone and thrive without anyone's approval. It's a tough lesson. Learning to eat alone means embracing solitude and self-reliance when the world expects you to play small and blend in. It means refusing to shrink just to fit someone else's idea of success or acceptance. God is preparing her to be a creator, not just a participant. She's being trained to build her own table, a space where her voice matters, where her values shape the rules, and where she calls the shots. This process isn't comfortable. She'll feel isolated at times, watching others celebrate group victories while she works quietly on her vision. But God knows that when she finally steps into her power, she won't depend on anyone else's validation. She'll lead with confidence because she's already proven she can succeed on her own terms. Building her own table also means creating opportunities for others who are overlooked, underestimated, or pushed aside. God is shaping her into a leader who doesn't just want power for herself. She wants to redefine the game entirely. So when God tests her ability to be alone, it's not to punish her. It's to prepare her to own her space and invite others to rise with her. Because real leadership isn't about fitting in. It's about building a place where you belong and making room for those who deserve to belong too. Number 5, because she'll be forced to choose between peace and truth. Truth and peace don't always walk hand in hand. Sometimes they stand on opposite sides, demanding a choice. For a Sigma woman, this is one of the hardest lessons God prepares her for, because her path isn't about smooth sailing or keeping everyone happy. It's about standing firm in truth no matter the cost. God knows the kind of woman she is, one who values honesty, integrity, and authenticity above all else. But that means she'll face moments where speaking the truth risks breaking relationships, losing jobs, or damaging her reputation. It's not easy. It's painful. And most people shy away from it because peace seems like the safer, easier choice. But for her, truth is not negotiable. It's not just a nice idea. It's her calling. God is teaching her to hold space for the hard realities, to be brave enough to speak up when silence feels safer, to carry the burden of being the one who tells it like it is, even when the world pushes back. She learns that peace built on lies or compromise isn't peace at all. It's a mask, and she refuses to wear that mask. She knows that true peace comes from alignment with truth, no matter how uncomfortable or lonely that may be. So yes, God puts her in situations where she must choose, and often peace will slip away. But the woman God is molding doesn't chase peace at the expense of truth. She embraces the discomfort because she understands the bigger picture, that truth is the foundation for real, lasting peace. In the end, God isn't just preparing her to survive, He's preparing her to stand tall when everything else falls apart. Number 6. Because she wasn't made to be liked. She was made to awaken. Most people want to be liked, to fit in, to avoid conflict. But a Sigma woman, she's not built for popularity contests or easy acceptance. God didn't train her to blend quietly into the background. He trained her to shake things up, to stir the still waters and wake the sleeping souls. Her purpose isn't comfort, it's disruption, but the kind that leads to growth. She's meant to challenge old mindsets, question tired beliefs, and push people out of their safe little boxes. And yeah, that means sometimes she'll be misunderstood. She'll be the one who doesn't sugarcoat truth, who refuses to play nice just to avoid rocking the boat. But here's the thing. Awakening is uncomfortable. It's loud. It's messy. It makes people defensive because it forces them to look at things they'd rather ignore. And a Sigma woman, she's okay with that, because she knows real change starts when we stop pretending everything is fine. God isn't interested in raising someone who's popular. He's interested in raising someone who's necessary, someone who doesn't shy away from the hard conversations or back down from the truth, even if it means losing approval. Someone who's willing to be the thorn in the side of complacency because they understand that peace without progress is just stagnation. So when she's criticized or pushed away, it's not a sign she's failing. It's a sign she's doing exactly what she was made to do. To awaken others, to provoke thought, to light fires where there was once only cold ashes. She wasn't made to be liked. She was made to wake the world up. Number 7. Because she's called to influence without selling her soul. The world loves to tempt a Sigma woman with shortcuts. It's always there. Shiny offers of quick fame, empty praise, and easy validation. Just blend in, water down your truth, play the part, and you can have it all. But God's testing her to see if she's hungry for that kind of success, or something deeper. Because real influence? It doesn't come from popularity contests or chasing likes. It comes from authenticity, from standing firm in who you are, even when it's uncomfortable, unpopular, or downright lonely. And that kind of influence doesn't come cheap. It costs sacrifice. It demands honesty. It asks her to say no to the easy road every single time. God puts her through trials, not to punish, but to sharpen her appetite, to see if she'll settle for shallow victories or if she's willing to walk the harder path that leads to lasting impact. Because platforms built on anything less than truth are like sandcastles, beautiful for a moment but doomed to wash away with the tide. She's not called to follow the crowd or echo what sells. She's called to lead from a place of unwavering integrity, even if it means fewer people understand her, even if it means going against the grain and facing criticism. Because real power comes from being real, not from faking it till you make it. God tests her to make sure that when the spotlight finally hits, she won't trade her soul for applause, that she won't bend her values for popularity or dilute her message for mass appeal. Instead, she'll shine with a rare kind of light, one that's impossible to copy, impossible to dim, because she's not just here to be seen, she's here to change the game. Number 8. Because her heart has the capacity to carry nations. God doesn't just train a Sigma woman for a position, He prepares her for people, for souls, for hearts. The kind of calling she carries isn't about being in charge, it's about being trusted. And trust on that level, it's heavy. Most people break under emotional weight. They collapse under pressure when too many people start depending on them. But Sigma women, God builds them differently. He doesn't hand them power fast because He knows what's coming. He knows they won't just be leading, they'll be carrying others. That's why her journey is so intense. Why she's had to be the strong one, the calm one, the listener, even when no one ever did the same for her. He was strengthening her heart without her even knowing it, teaching her how to carry grief and still show up, how to sit in silence with someone's pain and not need to fix it. Just hold it, because later, people will come to her broken, not for titles, not for credentials, but because something about her feels like safety, because her presence heals even before she speaks. And to do that kind of work, to carry people's stories, burdens, and healing in her hands, her heart has to be unshakable. That's why she's gone through so much. That's why she's had to be strong in private. Not to become cold, but to become capable. Because when you're trusted with hearts, not just jobs, your strength has to run deep. Deeper than applause, deeper than appearances, deeper than pride. God isn't raising her for show. He's raising her for impact. Because some women are born to inspire. But a Sigma woman? She's built to carry nation and never drop a single soul in the process. Number 9, because she's going to break cycles. Others couldn't. Some women are born to continue tradition, but Sigma women, they're born to interrupt it. Her life doesn't make sense at first. The pain feels too specific, too sharp, too deep to be random, but that's because it's not random. It's surgical. God is operating on wounds that have been passed down for generations. Silent suffering, emotional neglect, abandonment, settling, suppression. And now it stops with her. She's not just being tested, she's being trusted. Trusted to face what her mother couldn't talk about. Trusted to process what her grandmother had to bury. Trusted to break what generations before her were forced to carry in silence. That's why it feels like her pain hits different. Why she wakes up heavy for no reason. Why she's triggered by things other people can easily brush off. She's not just healing herself. She's healing a lineage. And healing at that level, it hurts. Because she's not just rewriting her story, she's rewriting the pattern. She's cleaning up emotional messes that didn't start with her, but end with her. And that kind of work takes grit. It takes honesty. It takes breakdowns and breakthroughs. That's why God tests her with intentional pressure. Because he knows what he's building in her isn't just for today. It's for generations ahead. Her future children won't carry the same trauma. Her nieces will grow up watching a woman who didn't fold. Her family tree will shift because she had the courage to face what was never faced before. She's not cursed, she's called. She's not being punished. She's being prepared. And no, it's not fair, but it's divine. Because some legacies are born. But the rarest ones, they're fought for, and she was built to win that fight. Number 10, because she will have to make unpopular decisions. Being a Sigma woman means one thing above all else. She won't always be popular. In fact, most of the time she'll be making choices that disappoint people. That's just part of the job. God tests her by stripping away that deep-down need to please others, because he knows the kind of leader she's meant to be can't be built on people-pleasing. It's uncomfortable. It's lonely, saying no when everyone expects yes, choosing the hard path instead of the easy way, watching people turn away because she won't bend to their expectations. But God is preparing her for this because leadership isn't about being liked, it's about being right, even when it's unpopular. The world will try to tell her she needs to soften her edges, that she should keep everyone happy to stay in the game. But God's lesson is clear. Influence without integrity is empty. She must learn to stand strong in her convictions, even if it means losing followers, friends, or approval. God's testing her to see if she can handle the backlash that comes with truth and courage. Can she stay grounded when criticism hits hard? Can she hold firm when it feels like the world is against her? Because the Sigma woman God is shaping isn't here for easy applause. She's here to lead with unwavering clarity and boldness. And here's the truth. Those tough decisions are what set her apart. They build the kind of respect that lasts, the kind of power that doesn't crumble under pressure, the kind that changes the game. So when God strips away her need to please, it's not to punish her, it's to prepare her to rule without apology. Number 11. Because influence can corrupt the unchecked ego. Let's be real. Power is seductive. Influence is heavy. And if it lands in the hands of someone who's still chasing validation, it becomes dangerous, not just for them, but for everyone they touch. That's why God deals with the ego first. And for Sigma women, he doesn't go easy. Before he gives her a voice that moves rooms, opens doors, and shifts mindsets, he strips her of the need to be liked, clapped for, or understood. Because that kind of influence, the kind that actually changes people, can't belong to someone who still craves approval. Sigma women are natural leaders, even if they don't ask for the role. People watch them, mirror them, follow them, not because they're loud, but because they live in truth. But here's the thing. Without a crushed ego, even truth can get twisted. Influence can become ego-driven. The mission turns into a performance, and what was once real becomes just another mask. So God takes her through the fire. He humbles her in private. He lets her fail, be misunderstood, overlooked, not to break her, but to burn off what's not needed. Because when he finally lifts her up, it's not about ego. It's about impact. She'll no longer be looking for a stage. She becomes the message. She'll no longer be trying to get attention. She is the standard. Her presence will carry weight, not because she demanded it, but because she earned it through surrender. And the ones who tried to skip the ego work, they'll shine for a moment, but burn out just as fast. Because real influence doesn't come from chasing validation. It comes from becoming so whole that you no longer need it, and that's what makes a Sigma woman unstoppable. In final words, to whom much is given, much is required. But to the Sigma woman, even more is expected. If you've ever felt like life keeps throwing you into the deep end while others get to float, there's a reason. You're not fragile. You're not average. You're a Sigma woman. And God isn't just giving you a title. He's giving you a mission. Every delay, every betrayal, every silent season has been molding you into something unshakable. While others chase status, you've been learning how to lead without needing the crowd. While some collapse under pressure, you've been learning how to stand in fire and stay whole. God tests you because your path isn't ordinary. You're meant to rise in a way that doesn't just elevate you, but frees others too. Your growth isn't just personal, it's generational. You're rewriting patterns, breaking cycles, and carrying purpose in a way many never will. And the truth is, people will misunderstand you. Some will envy you. Most won't see the inner work you've done. But none of that matters. Because when God elevates you, it won't be by accident, and it won't be temporary. It'll be earned, and no one will be able to take it away. So stay grounded, stay true, stay ready. Because when the time comes, you won't just rise. You'll rise unchanged, undiluted, and unstoppable. That's what makes you a Sigma woman. And that's why God tests you the way he does. Thank you for watching the Rare Gems, and God bless you.